Hey there, guys. We are live and welcome to the Free China live stream. Once again, we are very, very lucky to be joined by my good friend, Mr. Prime in China, Mr. Corey. How's it going, Corey?
Good, man. How you doing?
I am great. And I just saw your message there. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
indeed. Lex
It's all
Luthor
I've heard.
himself.
It's all I've heard for the past 5 hours, basically.
Yeah. But he was a fantastic actor, and he was great as Lex Luthor in the Superman films. So
Sure.
anyway, we are not talking about Gene Hackman today. We are here to talk about China as usual, and we've had some very interesting things happening lately. So shall we jump straight into it?
Yeah. Of course. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do this. All right, so I have set up a little video now. We're just gonna have this play in the background while I talk about it. So this is a little update from Taiwan. Now, the country's Coast Guard has detained a cargo ships with links to China after a key undersea cable which connects Taiwan's Penghu Islands was disconnected. Now, this incident has seriously raised concerns as Taiwan is obviously already on high alert over a lot of increasing gray zone activities by China. For example, China keep flying a lot of planes, warplanes, close into China's air defense zone and that kind of thing. Now, this is crazy, man. Have you seen this news, Corey?
Yeah. Quite a bit of hostility there, isn't there?
There is, and it's just interesting. Now, the ship in question is called the Hongtai 58, and it was spotted anchoring near the cable, near exactly anchoring exactly where the cable was. That's kind of like the smoking gun.
Isn't it funny how that all mysteriously happens all the time? They're like, weird. Why is this boat just like right over where the cable is? It's so strange.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like a guy walking into a police station with a Jason Friday the 13th hockey mask on, a
Yeah.
big knife with blood
Yeah.
dripping off, and saying, "Hey, I didn't do it."
Yeah. Like, I
It's,
don't know what happened. We didn't do it. It's like, okay. Okay.
oh dear, it's ridiculous. And what's even more ridiculous is this ship is it's registered under Togo, the country in Africa, but it's being called like a vessel, a flag of convenience, meaning that it's essentially registered to a country other than that of its owner. And it turns out that the ship's crew consists of 8 Chinese nationals.
Surprise.
It's
It's like not a
ridiculous.
single person from a country that ship is registered to is on the ship. Very strange again, huh?
Exactly. And look at this. I just wanted to include this because I think it's interesting. If you look there, they've even got Taiwan's flag on the ship.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. So anyway, right now, Taiwan's authorities are investigating this, and it just sort of goes alongside all of the other attempts that China has done to, to mess with Taiwan's communication cables. It's an ongoing thing, and it just keeps happening all the time. Obviously, Taiwan are treating this as a national security matter. And it's actually the 5th time that this has happened, apparently, um,
And they
in the
threaten to
space
do it
of a
all the
couple of
time.
years. Sorry, say
Yeah.
again?
And China threatens to do this all the time too. It's they always threaten to do it with other countries, and I mean it's just when the threats are there, when it's happened multiple times, it's just yeah, it's a strange thing to do to your own country. Right?
I like what you did there. I like what you did there. Exactly. It's like it's ridiculous, I mean, why the hell would they do this to their own country?
Yeah,
Why would they
they
sever
own
their own
Taiwan.
cable?
They own Taiwan, or they cut people. What a surprise.
Yeah.
Such a wonderful man, isn't he?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So this is still being investigated. It hasn't been 100% proven that China is involved, obviously, but I think we can safely say that there's definitely something going on there, right?
Yeah, probably wasn't Somalia or Nigeria or any of those other countries. Probably China, let's be honest.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on anyway to the next bit of news that I just wanted to talk about. And then we've got a segment from Corey, so I'm looking forward to that one. All right, so we all know about China's proposed mega embassy or super embassy in London, which is obviously causing quite the stir. It's set to be built on the former Royal Mint site near the Tower of London, which is a popular tourist destination. And this site is massive. This facility is going to be huge. It's going to be around 10 times the size of a typical embassy. And inside, the plans include underground freaking tunnels, secretive basement rooms, and hundreds of staff accommodation areas, making it basically like a diplomatic fortress. It is going to be huge. Now, obviously, the project has gotten a lot of objection, particularly from myself and a lot of Hong Kongers here in the UK. There's been lots of protests, specifically for the reason that this place could be used to monitor Chinese dissidents or, Hong Kongers who have fled to the UK to escape from that whole national security bullshit. And man, just looking at this and knowing that there's going to be tunnels and like huge secretive basement rooms and just being able to accommodate hundreds of staff members, it's actually quite scary. It's just like really, really, really nefarious. And yeah, I don't know, man. It looks like this thing is going ahead, and it just really, really kind of like pisses me off that it's getting to this stage.
Yeah, it's really shocking that the UK and even like America and stuff, that our countries are willing to give like prime real estate to these types of things, and then they're like, oh yeah, not only are we just gonna like build an embassy here, like we need to make sure that we can have secret stuff like there. Why else do you need a basement like that, especially of that size? Like, what are they doing with that? We all know what they're doing. It's not a secret. They're probably going to have people that they don't like. They're going to end up getting taken inside the embassy, and then that type of stuff happens more and more nowadays, where people are either being protected that shouldn't be protected, or people that didn't really commit any crime are being taken in too. Because what China did in Hong Kong, of course, sent out their hidden soldiers essentially and rounded people up, and they went missing. So
Yeah,
you never know what they could do. You never know.
absolutely. And the fact is that like hundreds of thousands of Hong Kongers have fled to the UK because they can get a passport. They can get a British passport because they're a Hong Kong national. And, we have that history where Hong Kong was once a colony of the United Kingdom. So a lot of them have come over here because they want to get away from the CCP. They want to get away from that bullshit, and being monitored and spied on. Several Hong Kongers that I've met here have told me that they were literally being stalked by the CCP, being followed like everywhere. And that's the reason why they've come here. And now they have to deal with this shit. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable.
We
And
kind of have that here in America too, how like San Francisco here has like your very like people that have fled, of course, the Chinese government and things like that. Years ago, they came here. And now you have like the new age Chinese here in America, like in LA and stuff like that, in Irvine and all those places. And a lot of the they're very different Chinese people, essentially, because different times, different, type of situation. Probably the same thing in your country, people that have fled and now they're coming there and now they're seeing that same shit that they fled from. Could you imagine what that would be like? How scary that would be?
It's really, really bad news, man, and I really hope that this whole thing just they block it. And so yeah, there's going to be another protest outside there on March the 15th at 3 o'clock p.m. Now, hopefully, I'm going to get myself there again. But this is just if anybody who's in the UK is watching this live stream, you can see that there's going to be this protest there again, and hopefully you guys can join, and hopefully I'll see you there. And yeah, let's get Corey on a flight. Let's do a crowdfund and get Corey on a flight over here.
Oh man, like I said, if you want to do a protest, we can do it. I'll go all in, but it'll probably get a little crazy because yeah. But if that's what you want to do, we'll do it.
What are you gonna do? Like paint a big Taiwan flag?
Oh,
on your
dude,
head?
like we can just turn me into the largest Taiwan billboard ever. I don't care. I'll just I'll hold as many flags as possible. We can paint me up.
Awesome.
We'll find the biggest shirt possible, and we'll spin me around in circles out there. I guess I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
The only thing is, if any of these like Chinese guys start like freaking out and like try to yell at me for being dressed up as a Taiwan board, I'm gonna be pissed. So.
You'll be like a superhero, like Taiwan man.
Taiwan man. Yeah.
Taiwan #1 man.
Yeah,
cool. So 15th of next month, protest. Be there or be square. Cool. Okay, let's move on, shall we? I think we've spoken about that one enough. Rightio. So we have now, I think we've got a new segment. This was Corey's idea.
Propaganda police.
It's the propaganda police. So can you explain propaganda police?
Yeah, what propaganda police is, if you've ever been on, Twitter, X, or if you remember when TikTok was banned and a lot of people were going to Xiaohongshu, a lot of people were fed a lot of these like graphs and they didn't really understand what they were looking at. A lot of people don't realize that they're actually looking at propaganda. Just because it's a graph and it says, this is the source doesn't mean that it's not propaganda. And I think one of the things that I wanted to show people is that what you always see as propaganda is not always true. And that's why it's propaganda. And one of the number one things that you're going to hear about are these patents. You're always going to hear from people, China leads the world in technology. They file more patents than anybody else. And they do. But that's not the whole story. So you look at if you just take this chart, and there's multiple charts on here, if you just take them for face value, you think, man, China and the US and you look at US and Germany and the UK and all these other countries and you're like, man, these countries suck. China's just amazing. But the other funny thing too is if you look at a lot of these graphs, they'll always say like Global Times or some China outlet.
Yeah, if you look at this particular graph, you can see in the bottom left corner there, it's from Global Times, which is one of China's English language propaganda, state media, news publications, and it's one of the worst ones.
Yeah. And so one of the things of understanding how propaganda works, because if you understand propaganda, then you understand the Chinese government as a whole, really. You really have to think about what they're saying. They're saying that they lead in patents. So it's like, okay. So if you read the actual truth about it, they're leading in 57 to 64 critical technologies. Again, that leads you to think, you're like, man, China's just leading
way
the
ahead.
World. 57 of 64.
Yeah.
But is that really true, right? McDonald's, they sell more hamburgers than everybody. Trust me, I know. But are they the best hamburgers? Maybe not, right? It's the same thing here when you talk about, China and their patents. Yeah, they do file a lot more patents than everyone else. But there is one thing that we know for a fact. Not all patents are created equal. Okay?
Exactly. Like I could like get a massive steaming turd. I could dress it up a little bit, put some buttons on it, and
Mhm.
patent it as this brand new, awesome 5G technology pile of
Sure.
crap. And I could make a million other pieces of crap exactly the same and put a patent on all of them. Doesn't mean it's good.
See, and again, like you're so in touch with China and its propaganda. You even mentioned one. You're like 5G technology. That's one of their major pushes of propaganda. And then you think, oh man, China just leads in 5G technology. But when you actually look into it, at the technology that's actually happening, that's being passed, it's changing, it's really not relevant to anything. It's
Dude, my
very
phone
small
right
micro
now
things.
is on 5G. Look.
Right. It's like people were talking about when 5G first came out in China, they were like, they don't have it anywhere in America. And I'm like, I have it right now, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so that's what it is,
Do you remember they were also like, I think there was another one. I think I remember seeing like a shill talking about like 5G plus or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, and that is another great example. China does that a lot. They'll be like, "Oh, well, we don't just have 5G, we have 5G plus." And it's like, "Well, what is plus?" It's some like improvement they've made that's maybe 1% better, but is really irrelevant in the long run.
Yeah.
It's just it when you're downloading, a picture or a video or loading a web page on 5G, is it being 50 kb faster? Is that really going to change anything? It's not going to
Yeah.
change. You know what I
It's
mean?
not. And I
So
think the main point that we're trying to make is these high numbers of patents doesn't necessarily indicate genuine innovation, right?
mhm. And then at that point, people are going to say, well, why should we trust you, of course, over these charts, right? Because again,
Mm.
you notice these charts, they all have the propaganda logos at the bottom. But it's not me saying this, it's not Lewis saying this. There's actually fact behind it. We actually know that it's true. You can actually see here, in this report, it shows that yes, they do lead in patent filing. They really do. But as it says, it's not necessarily the high number of patents that turn China into a global patent powerhouse. It's the rapid increase. And see, that's what they want you to believe, is that China has done so many new patents that they've just taken over. And they haven't, right? And the reason we know is because, again, people look at the patents that are actually made. So on the next page, you'll actually see where it talks about this, that only 10% of China's patents have market value, and that probably 90% of them are trash. We have
Yeah.
what are called, if you know anything about patents, there's called junk patents. It's where you're essentially just filing patents in an effort to make sure that nobody else can move around in that space. That way, if you make a little bit improvement, they'll be like, well, we've already got this patent. And it doesn't help anyone, it actually hurts innovation. And that's what China does. They file thousands of patents around something so that you can't, and they try to just do it first, because then they
Yeah.
know that you can't do it at that point.
And they just don't give a shit about the impact that it will have on the environment or anything like that. They'll just pump
Right.
out all of this trash, all of this crap, and destroy the world in the process.
And to be fair, they don't follow patent laws anyways. Domestically in China, they don't follow copyright. They don't follow that stuff. You can't go to China and sue a company and be like, "Hey, you infringed on our patent." It just doesn't work. So
Yeah, yeah. And what was the whole thing? I remember you were telling me earlier about the batteries. I think that was quite an
right, right.
interesting part.
That's the thing. So when you have these battery companies, one of the main things that you see for technology talk out of China for propaganda is batteries, because it's a big deal, right? EVs
Mm,
is a huge thing for China. They always want to talk about electric vehicles and that type of stuff and green energy because it's a part of their propaganda. And they're really doing a lot of patents around these batteries, lithium ion batteries. But everyone kind of knows that the new technology is solid state. And so while solid state's being improved on by, a lot of companies, China is just filing a lot of patents for lithium ion batteries. And you look at the technology in a lot of China's EVs and they say, oh, well, they're so good. A lot of these EV makers in China are so amazing. And then of course, because it's propaganda, they have to point out Tesla, of course.
Yeah.
But there's so many of these EVs where they're catching on fire and stuff like
they're
that.
Exploding.
Because they're taking a lot of this new technology that they've developed and that they've thrown into these cars, but they haven't really tested any of it. You know what I mean? So they don't know how it's going to act in real world application. And so that's the thing. The propaganda that you see, it's not always, you know, all that stuff you see is not always as true. And that's why it's propaganda, because it's just not true all the time.
It's quantity over quality, basically.
Right. Yeah, especially in the case of China. Nothing is ever as it seems in China.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's one big facade. Okay, cool. So just to add to this, because we are talking about propaganda, and another one of China's big, huge propaganda push is about their robotics industry and their robots and how they're super amazing, better than America, better than Boston Dynamics robots, and they're way ahead in the robot race. It's like, you know, that film with Will Smith, I, Robot. Basically, that is China according to the propaganda. So,
and I think that the thing that's really funny about this video is, like, if you actually play the video, you'll see what the robot's doing. It's carrying that little bag, and it's like kicking the crap out of that little bag. So it's like whatever's in that bag is like destroyed. You know, it's like
hopefully it's not something fragile. We're going to play it in a sec. Let me just read this tweet quickly. So it says, in China, robots have found new purposes. While shopping, a robot can carry your bags, letting you enjoy a hands-free experience. A hands-free experience? What the fuck is it talking about? Would you like to have one right away? It can do so much more for you. And it's funny because it's trying to make out that this is like the norm in China. Like, this is a new thing that everybody's doing. And it, you know, you've been to China. When was the last time you saw this at a shopping mall? Never.
No.
Ever.
You know, like, what I want to see? I want to see that stupid little thing get on the metro during rush hour. That's what I want to see. Come on, little robot. Get on the metro.
Okay, let's check it out.
Look at him. Bam, 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 bam. Just kicking the shit out of your stuff.
Look at how slow it is. It walks like Joe Biden, dude.
It does. I was gonna say. I was like, it walks like an old man, which is Joe Biden. Yeah,
it's a Biden bot.
It shuffles its feet. It's like, what is it doing? Is it lost? Like, what's going on?
Are you lost, little boy?
Not only that, but like, you can tell the bag that it's carrying, like, there's nothing in it, because you can tell by the way that the bag moves.
It's quite pathetic that they actually think that this, because I got this off of Twitter or X, and it's just funny how you see some people in the comments, they're like, wow, obviously they're like paid bots or whatever, but there are some genuine comments of people saying, wow, this looks amazing. China is the future.
China has this thing too where they're very innovative in the technology and products that have no real fucking application in life. Like, are you really going to take this little robot around shopping with you at the mall? Like, if you did that, like, people are going to point and laugh at you. They're going to be like, look at this loser. He can't carry his own box of Nike Jordans around the mall. He's got to have a robot. I mean if it was a 500-pound, you know, some huge thing, then I understand, because you're using it for work. But, like, we're talking about a little bag, you know?
Yeah, dude, like, it's hardly the Terminator, you know, like the T-800 or whatever. You know, if you had one of those things walking next to you in the shopping mall, you would be badass. But no, you've got Biden bot.
Even the girl, like, if you look at her face when she walks and she turns around and she looks at it, you can tell on her face she's like, this thing is stupid.
Yeah, let's see. Let's try.
Like, come on, you.
Yeah, look. She's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, right. She's like, thankfully I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah. Good old thank you for that propaganda money. You know how they keep banging on. I don't know about you, but in comments for my videos, I keep getting US aid. US aid has dried up now, and Jesus Christ, it's pissing me off, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you've got this one. Now, this is interesting because this has been shared by China's ambassador for Pakistan, which is Zhang Heching, and he is famous. He is extremely famous for posting the most bullshit propaganda clips you will ever
Yes.
see. He is
Yeah.
ridiculous, and he has really, he's really outdone himself with this post. So he's like, wow, robot police appears in Shenzhen, China. Okay, so let's see this robot police, shall we? Can barely walk.
The other thing is too, it's like it's kind of an embarrassment for real police in China. Think about this. They're like, hey, so you suck so much, we're replacing you. They're like, fuck, who's the new guy? And then it walks in and it's a little robot named like Ernie or something. Ernie the robot. You're like, man, replaced by Ernie?
Yeah,
Come on.
damn, man. Damn, this
And he's
thing
like,
can barely move.
it's all short and slow. It's like that thing can't arrest anyone. It's like, come on now.
And it shows you how useless the police are in China if they're going to be replaced by this piece of trash.
Right. Like if the police are that bad that they're like, listen, we've just got to get this crappy robot out here. But then again, I've literally seen it before where like I remember one time in China, they at the South Railway Station in Guangzhou, they had this team of thieves. There's like 5 or 6 of them running around stealing from people. And the police are like chasing them around on golf carts. And then one of the golf carts like accidentally rams into the side of the building. And then there's like another police officer over on the side and he's like just smoking a cigarette watching. And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, this is a country that's like threatening the world when they can't even like catch a bunch of teenagers. I'm like,
You
come
can
on
just
now.
hear that sort of comedy music from like Benny Hill, like going.
Yeah, like it was like that. Like the golf cart's just like going in circles around the bus station, and I'm like, this is the largest railway station in Guangzhou. Like security should be insane here, and they can't catch these kids. You know?
Yeah. But when the police do want to be vicious and horrible, they can do it.
Oh, they can for sure.
Oh yeah. I've seen that as well. So both sides of the coin.
The military police type thing.
Yeah, right. But those sort of like, what do they call them? Is it like Baoan or something like that? Those guys are pretty useless.
Guys.
Yeah,
these guys are real police too. They're not Baoan. They're just like they're the police that like got the job because like their wife's brother is like part of the government or something, and
gave him a box of cigarettes or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. We got you a vest. Here's the vest. Put it on.
He's like, okay. So basically, this thing, RoboCop, it is not. Okay.
Robonaut.
Like RoboCop, the film, the slogan is RoboCop, the future of law enforcement. This is like RoboPlop.
Yeah.
Robo.
Still a ways to go, Coming not
a long way. A long way to go. Okay, this one cracked me up big time. Let's just watch it and then talk about it. Robo journalist. How can you take this seriously? And no mistake about it, this is being pushed as this is the future, this is China, China is way ahead, and you are supposed to look at this and take it seriously.
Right. Again, this is this is propaganda. A lot of people don't realize it, but this is propaganda, man. This is them trying to show you that China is moving into the future, that they're doing stuff that like no other country is doing. And again, it's lack of usefulness. I don't know about you personally, but I don't want to talk to a robot. I don't want to see a robot journalist on television. I want to see a human. It's like when you go out to a restaurant. Like, part of the reason that you go out is because of the interaction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what good is it if you're talking to a robot? You know?
Yeah. I don't even like paying for things with my phone, really. Although it is convenient, I'm kind of a bit of like, I don't know, like I just kind of prefer the old way of doing a lot of things. I don't know what the word is for that, but
Like a
yeah.
traditionalist or something, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just like, I don't know, all of this tech stuff kind of annoys me. Like when like, you know, China shills are talking about how great it is that they can use WeChat to pay for everything, and I'm just thinking, like, what good is that going to be when they block your account? You know?
It's true. Not only does like the rest of the world have that anyways, but it's like it's not something you have to have. It doesn't really change your way of life that much, does it? It doesn't. You know what I mean? Everywhere
No.
still takes cash. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More places still take cash, you know, than they do. You know, I don't know anywhere that doesn't take Apple Pay here. I'm sure, you know, obviously it exists, but it's like you can still use cash. It doesn't change your life necessarily for the better. You know?
Exactly, dude. Like everybody here in the UK, they just use Google Pay, Apple Pay. They even just use their bank card to, you know,
Right.
tap and stuff. It's normal.
Right. You know, like that's going to be the next thing. You're going to have your stupid little robot follow you around and pay for you too. Like, hey Esmond, whatever your name is, go pay, you know, and then carry my bags.
Carry your bags and kick your bags while it's carrying.
Yeah, like I hate to curse, but it's like, come on, you little bitch. Like, think about like the people of society that like it's kind of a weird thing. Like, why would you really want this as part of your society? I don't understand. Like, it's maybe it's just a difference in culture, but I don't want that. Like, I don't want some robot walking around behind me all the time, and then I got to worry about, you know, getting that stupid thing in the car, and then, you know, or getting it on the metro in China. Could you imagine that? Like, that would just be disastrous.
Yeah. And, you know, if there is going to be some sort of robot uprising, it's definitely going to happen in China, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's like they haven't, like, have you guys not seen that movie yet? Like, come on now. Maybe they, have they not stole that idea and redid that movie yet? Like,
yeah, probably have. So,
sure.
propaganda, once again, it's China trying to trick the world into believing that they are ahead in technology, and just judging by this footage, they're clearly not. If this is the best they've got, then damn, man, damn.
Yeah, that's China for you. They file more patents than anyone else, so they're leading in all the forms of technology, and everyone has their own personal robot that carries their bags for them. That's the real China that they don't show you.
Exactly. And that's why this live stream is titled China's Robots Shock the World, America Lost.
Yeah.
Because they're just so damn good.
Because that's how every China video, pro-China video is like, the China that they don't want to show you. This is my pet robot, Esmond.
Yeah.
Carries my bags.
America shocked. China wins. And all of this with like a picture of Joe Biden or Trump or Elon Musk on the thumbnail going, oh!
Yeah.
Okay, so let's play this out. Do you like the clown music?
That's perfect. They'll have that next too. They'll have robots playing clown music for us.
This one is funny.
Oh man, that's bad.
So
that's bad.
One of their robots has obviously failed, and they're trying to resuscitate it.
Man down. Check his pulse.
You serious?
I think he's dead. Yep, he's dead.
Even the people are laughing.
Even the people are laughing at it. See, even Chinese people are like, man, this is bullshit. This is stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's not pretend that, everybody in China believes this shit. These people are crowded around because they're probably like, this is ridiculous. What the hell is going on here? And I just wanted to say quickly as well that, like China, they have done some good things in regards to making robots. And actually, at least they are trying, which is very good to see. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's the thing. There's nothing. Here's the thing is I don't want anyone to think that, just taking a dump on China for filing patents. The problem is that there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And if it's done right, if it's done well, then it's very healthy for the world and the overall technology community. It's just that it has to be done right. And unfortunately, China has a history of doing things and I guess the likingness of competition to win competition, even if no one really wins. You know what I mean? I guess is a way of saying it. And
taking shortcuts as well.
Yeah, it's just taking the shortcut and then to make things seem like they're not. And that's to be honest, that's how a communist government works. When you're, and one thing that's in that article that's not discussed is the way that in China that they're, I guess you could say, the way that they make money is by filing patents because the government repays them for filing patents.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Here in America, it's like if you file a patent and you can't sell it to anybody, it doesn't have any real application in the real world. Like, you've wasted your time, you've wasted your money. So they're not gonna patent that stuff because it holds no relevance to them.
It's government subsidized craziness, basically.
Everything in China is government subsidized, and that's the reason that they have this thing where they have to report positive numbers even if they're not. That's why the GDP always grows even though they're in a major recession. That's why EVs in China are so great even though they're exploding and left and right. It's just it's just the way that it is.
Absolutely. Cool, man. Well, that is all that we have for today's stream, I think, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So shall we take a few questions from the people in the chat?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that means.
Cool. Okay, guys. So this is the time. If you have any questions that you want us to answer, anything about today's stream or anything China related, maybe you can ask Corey if he has a girlfriend. I don't bloody know. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Just fire away.
Well, we all know the truth about that. I've been married and divorced at least 9 times.
Okay, so let's see what we've got. Hi, Lewis. So nice to meet you and Stan in Cambridge. Stan still with you. Yeah, it was nice to meet you too. No, Stan is not with me. We only met for that one day to record a couple of videos. But yeah, very nice to meet you. It's really cool to meet some subscribers and take it easy. Okay, let's see. Any word from Kurdafu lately? No, haven't heard from Chris for a while, actually. I'll probably have to send him a message soon and maybe get him on a live stream at some point. Let's see. That was lucky. I finished my unexpected phone call before the stream started. That's cool, mate. All right, guys, come on. Give us some questions here. Like, we've got quite a few people watching. So come on, fire away, or we will just go.
You will. Don't make us do it.
Don't make us leave.
Wouldn't it be like some of those? If you ever go on TikTok and they have those people selling stuff on China, like from China, they're like, either you buy something now or it ends in 3 seconds, and it's like 3 seconds. That's all we get. Jeez, they're always in a hurry. It's like, jeez. or anytime like I get excited, I want one of those bells where I'm like ding 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 ding. You
Oh,
see
I've
that,
got like,
China? Oh my
yeah,
god!
I got something. Hold on, let me just grab it. I need to bring this. I need to bring this onto the stream more often. So I got like the bullshit button,
Oh man!
and like,
Yeah, you're gonna. When you do that during China segments, you're gonna have to like plug it in or something. It's gonna run out of batteries for sure.
yeah,
China's gonna have to create some amazing battery for that thing. I'll tell you what.
Okay. So, Jasmine, after seizing the ship, what do you think the Philippines will? No, it wasn't the Philippines. It was Taiwan Coast Guard that boarded the vessel. But I don't think there's a hell of a lot they can do with it at the moment. They still need to further investigate what happened. And I highly doubt that China are going to really be cooperative with it, you know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be what always happens. We don't know whose ship that is. It doesn't have our flag on it, you know. That's what'll happen. Always.
Exactly.
It's like when they attacked the Philippines, like that one time where they attacked the Philippines. They're like, Philippines attacked us first, and there's like this guy with an axe. Did you see that? He literally had an
Yeah.
axe. It's like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
literally slashes their boat with an axe, and they're like, they attacked us first. I'm like, this dude had an axe. I'm like,
Some
what?
dude had a knife as well, right? That was
Yeah, like
crazy.
you carry an axe on your boat. What kind of
Yeah.
boat is this?
That
You
was
know?
crazy, dude. That was crazy.
China was like, we don't know what happened. You know?
Okay. Do those Chinese robots continue to work if they are outside of a 5G signal zone? I don't know, Bogan. I don't know. Probably not.
They hardly work inside the 5G signal zone. So yeah.
They're probably like 3G robots anyway, to be fair. That's how far behind they are.
Yeah. I think like because there's a lot of those clips on the internet of their robots like followed over and doing all that type of stuff, and that is the difference between, again, you know, a lot of the Western companies that are working on these things. They're kind of too embarrassed to bring out a bad robot, whereas if China's like they bring that shit out like beta 1, they're like, here you go, it falls over, and they're like, yeah, we'll just cut that out, you know.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out.
Which is fine. And like I think,
Sure.
you know, when you're in that sort of industry with technology, there's going to be so many fails before you get it right.
Sure, of course. It's just about how you like propose it to people, how you bring it out. Don't just be like, you guys suck, China's amazing, we got robots, and then like there's robots laying all over the ground. It's like if you would have been like, we're working on this stuff in China, we think it's going to be great, just give us a little bit of time, we'd be like, oh man, that's awesome, China's really being innovative, you know.
Yeah.
Because that way when you see a few robots laying on the ground, you're like, well, you know, they told us, you
know. What's this one from Prickles the Bedbug? Getting lots of pink mail. What she means by that is the China's little pinks, Wu Maos. Yeah, like they literally send me a message on Instagram every day. Hold on, I'll read one for you if you want. Let me see. I've got an interesting one. Where is it?
Probably hardly readable.
Yeah, like they're usually. God, this guy. Yeah. Okay, so this guy, he says. Actually, I can show you on the screen. See that?
Come to China. Come to China.
He's like, "Come to China, motherfucker," and I'm like, "Come to the UK." He's also, and I'm also like, "Also, don't be rude again, or I'll report you." He says, "I've been UK 4 years, idiot. It's not your business. I don't care about Taiwan. I just don't like you. Hope you can't see me in the streets."
Hope you can't see me. Why, are you afraid of me? You hope I can't see you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and then I basically just told him like, "Don't make threats. I'm going to report you."
It's like, what are you, Batman? You hope I can't see you? Are you hiding in the darkness? Are you in the shadow?
Yeah, I get a lot of these these threatening messages these days, especially on Instagram. What about you, Corey? Do you get any crap? Or...
Oh man, it's like I used to tell people, like, I wish a motherfucker would, because like I'm in America, you know what I mean? Like, I tell you what, like, obviously, I'm not gonna go like all crazy and like pull out guns on stream and stuff, but I am a gun owner. I do have a gun in my bedroom. I live in a safe area, but you never know. I've got a gun. I got one in my car, and I wish somebody would, because it's like, if you think you're going to come and you're going to threaten me, because I said something about China that you don't like. Like, it's not going to happen. Not in America,
Just
and
stupid.
I think that's why it's really important about, like, last stream, how you point out the fact that guy tried to run you over in your own country, and it's like, it's not going to happen. Like, you're not going to come to our countries and push this propaganda and run us over and tell us what to do. It's not going to happen,
Yeah, exactly.
And why would you want to? Like, if you really love China that much and you're that in support of China, go, like, stay in China. Like, why wouldn't you? People always say a lot of times, they're like, well, why did you leave China? And I'm like, well, because I would rather live in America. I think that for me, living in America is better, and that's why I'm here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's there's no secret about it.
Yeah,
and I feel the
China
same way.
Great.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about Chinese people. If China is great for you, and that's the country you love because you're from there and you want to live there, and maybe you feel like it's better, then just stay there. Why do you, like, that's all I'm saying.
Why are you here pushing your propaganda in the
like,
UK?
Why do you want to turn our place into your place?
And like, for me, like, when I lived in China, I had a fantastic time, like, but it just wasn't going to be a long-term thing. And I think that I outstayed my welcome. I stayed there for a lot longer than I intended to, and that was probably a bad idea.
I was going for 3 weeks. What are you talking about? And stayed years. I was like, I'm coming home soon.
Yeah.
And China is appealing to Westerners because it's so very different. It's the opposite side of the spectrum. And then once you figure it out, you're kind of like, wow, it's interesting to explore, but it's not so interesting to live in. It's like, I would love to go to North Korea. I would love to see North Korea, but I don't want to live in North Korea,
Yeah. Dude, I went to Dandong, which is like across the river from North Korea, and I looked into they've got like binoculars set up like on the river, so you can literally look through them. And I looked through these binoculars, and there's like they've set up an amusement park there to appear like they're more wealthy than what they actually are, because they've got like this amusement park for people's entertainment, but it was empty. There was not one ride working. It was crazy.
And see, that's the thing, is like, China is following the same rules as North Korea. They're both doing a lot of this stuff for propaganda. The difference is China is quite a bit more wealthy and is able to fill some of those buildings, some of those, things with people. So it's like when they build some brand new metro station that, looks nicer than some of our airports here in the United States, it's like, well, that's amazing. China did an amazing thing, but it's like, you have to understand that it doesn't have any real world usefulness. The train still just stops and goes there.
Yeah.
I mean, looks great, but it's largely for propaganda.
It's a facade.
And there's no real usefulness there.
Yeah.
And that's the difference in the Western world and China, is they're focused on that. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. What movie am I going to watch? I've been watching Fear the Walking Dead. It's like it's not a prequel to The Walking Dead. It's just a spin-off series. Because I finished all of The Walking Dead a long time ago, and I just recently watched the Daryl Dixon show, which is like one of the characters from The Walking Dead. So I've never watched Fear the Walking Dead, so I've started watching season 1, and I'm just going to kind of binge it a little bit tonight after I'm finished here. Yeah. How about you, Corey? You got anything you're watching lately that's interesting?
And I just caught up on Cobra Kai. I finished it and watched it.
Yes, I
So that's
watched
what
it.
I've been doing.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh man, I love it. I really love it, and just the way they ended it was fantastic. Just the way how Kreese and Silver had their epic showdown and on the boat, it was
Mhm.
amazing. I love Cobra Kai. That's the best show.
Yeah, it was really good for me. And it sounds weird. I was happy for it to end, but I was sad to see it end too. You know what I
There's a
mean?
film.
Yeah. So it's gonna be good. And there's supposed to be some new spinoff or something, I guess, too.
They've released a movie where it's got Jackie Chan and Thingamy. Who's the guy? Ralph Macchio, and I can't remember who else. But yeah, should be good. But I don't know about the spin-off show. No, haven't heard
But
about that.
I also heard that it doesn't that the movie doesn't have what's his name, right? It's only got Ralph Macchio, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have Jaden Smith.
No. So Zapka or whatever, right? So
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm guessing he'll make an appearance in the film. They'd be stupid not to have him in it.
from what I read, he wasn't in it or something, or wasn't going to be in it. And I was like, really? Because maybe that is one thing that I felt like Ralph Macchio was kind of weak in the ending of Cobra Kai. His character was
Yeah.
not as strong as I expected it to be, but I guess it's not all about him.
He kind of made a lot of allowances for Cobra Kai, right? Because he kind of like he wore the Cobra Kai gi, for God's sakes. I mean, that was pretty cool. See Danny Boy wearing a Cobra Kai uniform. That was sick.
So yeah, I have to find another show now that I've finished that.
Yeah, I know. I would
I'll probably
recommend. Have you seen Baby Reindeer?
no, haven't.
Oh, I would strongly recommend that. It's a British drama series, about 6 episodes, but it's dark. It's really dark, but it's interesting. Check it out, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Okay, let's see. Hello, gentlemen. Do you think that China cutting Taiwan's cables are getting ready to invade Taiwan? They've been ready to invade Taiwan for the last 80 years or whatever it is. I don't see it happening.
I think they would love to, but there's just you look at this situation. The one thing that I will tell you is, with all the propaganda and stuff that we talk about, China's military is not as strong as you think it is.
Yeah,
And
right.
one thing that, even though it's on topic but it's off topic, is Ukraine and Russia. I really thought Russia was a lot stronger than it is, and we found out that Russia can't really even take Ukraine. Like, if they
Yeah.
can't take Ukraine, you
It's
know what
right
I
next
mean?
to them. It's right on their
Like,
border as well.
can China take Taiwan? Yeah, I'm sure they could, but the losses of it would just be disastrous, because there's going to be a lot of unhappy countries with them, and it would just be suicide at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they're willing to risk the just utter destruction and loss of lives that an absolute war with Taiwan would entail.
Well, and I think that's part of the reason that they would really like for BRICS to become a thing, which BRICS is another, like, whatever, another bullshit. They would like to think that that is a really strong alliance, so that if something ever happened, they could still continue on economically, because people don't understand that, like, the China is really dependent on the Western world for trade. For Germany, the UK, America, Australia, like, they're really dependent on, and that's another propaganda piece. Is China always exports to the world? They export so much, but that's like, that's also part of their weakness. If you think about it, is like, if you're really having to brag about how much you export, like, what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That tells you something about their government, about economically within China domestically, is not as it seems.
Yeah.
And
They're not a self-sufficient country at all.
I always tell people the same story, real quick. Like, I lived, when I was in Guangzhou, I remember what I paid for rent in my apartment. And we were looking at starting a business. So we went over to this building that was next to us, a huge building, tall building. And it was cheaper to rent a giant office, huge office space, than it was our itty bitty apartment. And the reason for that was because only like 15 to 20% of the offices were filled in the building. So they were like desperate. They're like, we'll take whatever we can get, you know? They don't tell you that stuff in China. You know, all those big buildings, they're not full like what they want you to believe, you know?
Yeah. The economy isn't booming like the shills would say.
Right.
Yeah, mate. Okay, well, I think we've almost done an hour, which is kind of both what Corey and I agreed is a good cutoff point for a stream. So I guess we're gonna end it now. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and thank you, Corey, for joining. Next time we are going to try and stream this on both of our channels. It didn't happen this time. We had a few technical hiccups, but yeah. Anyways, you got anything you just want to quickly add, Corey, while we're here?
No, I mean, of course, you know, thanks everybody for coming and watching, you know, and just appreciate it to think that that's part of the reason I'm getting back into it, is because it's crazy to think that there's people out there that care enough to listen. So
yeah,
it's a big deal.
and I think this is going to be like a good opportunity for both of us to get some cool content out there, and it's good to have collaboration, and I'm pretty excited to have you on board, actually, and I think that we could really make this stream work well. So yeah, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We're going to roll that outro. Stick around for a bit, Corey. I just want to have a little chat with you afterwards, but we'll throw that outro out there. And yeah, take care, everybody. Peace.